Hey y'all, this is Kara Catlett, and I'm here to share a quick recipe. I was having a hankering for this recipe, and this is one of those nights that I've made my family a meal that I just kind of don't want, and it happens a lot to me. Usually I turn to my comfort food, which is a can of SpaghettiOs with meatballs. I can make the biggest, best meals, and I don't want to eat it after I cook it sometimes. And so I'll take a long bath and get out and make me a can of SpaghettiOs, and y'all, I nearly swallow my tongue over it. But tonight I'm not going to turn to SpaghettiOs because I'm having a hankering for something special that my granny used to fix, and she called it kilt lettuce. I think the proper term is killed lettuce or wilted lettuce. And it's an old country Appalachian recipe. And I think a lot of the states that this trail runs through, this recipe may have found your grandmother or mother in the kitchen. It is super easy, and there's some different variations of it. I'll talk a little bit about that at the end. But the first thing you want to do is just cut you up and wash you some leafy green lettuce. I'm using romaine today, and I'm just making enough for myself. But you just take your lettuce and whatever you want on it. This salad was always made to be very simple. So usually you would just do lettuce and some spring onions. I like really mandolin thin regular onions, and so that's what I'm using today instead of the spring onions, just because this is what I prefer. Now, you could add whatever you wanted to this salad, but it really was just a simple salad, and it was usually served like a summer salad. My granny even told me they used to use dandelion leaves in this. But you're just going to start with your salad greens, and then this is the interesting fun part. We're going to turn to our stove over here, where I have 3 tablespoons of butter and about a tablespoon of oil. And we're going to fry this up. Okay, so we're going to fry this butter and oil all up. And then once you get it melted and it's kind of fried, you're going to add your salt. And I use a big pinch of that Maldon salt that I love. And then I'm going to crack in some fresh cracked pepper. And I like a lot of pepper, so I'm going to put quite a bit of this fresh cracked, just because that's the way I like it. And then we're going to add about a tablespoon of white sugar, and then a tablespoon of white, or of any vinegar. I'm using red wine, but you could use apple cider. Granny used apple cider. But you're going to put, just as long as it's equal portions of salt and vinegar. And then you're going to put this back on your stovetop, and you're going to stir it around. I'm going to turn the heat down because I don't want it to burn. But you're going to add that until it's all nice and frying up, bubbling, and you can see and hear that. All right, I'm going to take the heat off, and then I'm going to pour that right over top of my lettuce and onions, just like that. And y'all, that's it. Now, I used butter. So the other variation of this that they would use is you would take your frying pan and fry up 4 pieces of bacon crispy. Once you fried that up, you would remove your bacon, crumble it up, and then you would add your vinegar and your sugar to your bacon grease and your salt and your pepper. And then you would top your salad with the crispy bacon, and then a lot of times people would add a boiled egg on top of that, and then you would pour your lettuce you would pour it over your lettuce and wilt your lettuce. But it's that fried hot dressing over top of your lettuce that wilts it. And I really should have stirred this. Let's see if I got a utensil right here. I really should have like stirred this up when it was super hot to get a good wilt, but it's still wilted and it will still be delicious. I'll just top this with a little extra of the sea salt and a little extra pepper. And let me get a fork. And we'll give it a taste. Y'all, it's so good. Oh my gosh. It just is proof that simple food can be so good. I mean, it's just delicious. It's going to hit the spot, and I'm going to go sit and enjoy it. But I thought you might like this little quick recipe because it's a good one.